and I can see from what you are saying and from reading the text that it also gives a historical account of the development of the city. So, even if it's a book that appeals to urbanists, it's a book that appeals to us historians very, very well. I'm sure, I have interacted with the historians who are already teaching urban history in so many different universities, and this can be a very important book for that. So I'm seeing that you started the story from as way back as the foundation of the city, when it was then called Salisbury, when the country was colonized, and it transitions to colonialism, to post-independence, tracing all those developments and the key players that were at the center of the development of the city. I just want you to briefly describe some of the sources you used, some of the books you also consulted, you interacted with, that have got a similar approach to discourse, so that this can be helpful to our student community.
A couple of books that actually explain the growth of Harare over time. I will explain them briefly. Mm-hmm. I think there's two books that are written by G.H. Tenza. I think one of the books is written in 1965 or so, if I'm not mistaken. I think he tries to analyze the growth of the city from 1890 up to the early 20th century, I think. Yeah. And then the second version, he also he periodizes the growth of the city over time. That is an important text. And secondly, there's a text that was published in 1995, if I'm not mistaken, The Growth of Harare. It was edited by Love Mozinyama and other colleagues. I think it tries to trace the growth of the city from 1890 up to around early 90s. The third book that I would also recommend, I think, is Carol Rakold's book. It also primarily focuses on the growth of Harare by focusing on land management, planning, the development of housing, amongst others. It's an important text. It was also published in the 1990s. Then there are other books as well that I think are important. My first book that I wrote, Seeking Urban Transformation, it was published in 2020. It tries to focus on three urban centers, which is Harare, Chikumbu, and Epworth, that make metropolitan Harare. And in that book, I try to periodize and to understand three things: planning, infrastructure, and housing, by focusing at the interaction between the formal institutions, which are the planning authorities, and also ordinary people in their individual and collective capacity. Those are some of the books that I think they're very, very important when we try to understand the growth of Harare over time.